The Galactic Council had existed for 17,000 cycles, a vast assembly of civilized species that had learned to coexist through diplomacy, trade, and carefully maintained boundaries. They had seen empires rise and fall, witnessed the birth of new spacefaring races, and cataloged thousands of species across hundreds of systems, but nothing had prepared them for humanity. When the first human vessel emerged from slipspace at the edge of Council territory, Ambassador Velkoth of the Arconian hierarchy had dismissed them as just another primitive species stumbling into the galactic community. The human ship was crude by Council standards, held together with what appeared to be improvised repairs and sheer determination. Their delegate, Captain Sarah Chen, had arrived at the Council chambers with a simple request: peaceful contact and trade agreements. The Council had agreed, as they always did with newcomers. They established standard protocols, assigned humanity a modest mining colony in a distant system, and expected them to quietly integrate into the lower tiers of galactic society. It was the way things had always been done. That was before the Krall attacked. The Krall Dominion was an aggressive empire that operated on the fringes of Council space, too powerful to eliminate, but contained through strategic treaties and buffer zones. When they raided the human mining colony, it was supposed to be routine, a show of force, a test of the newcomers' resolve. The Council would lodge formal complaints, humanity would learn their place, and equilibrium would be restored. Instead, something unprecedented happened. Captain Chen had stood before the Council 3 days after the attack, her uniform crisp despite the circumstances, her dark eyes carrying a weight that Velkoth couldn't quite identify. "We've recovered our people," she said simply. "All of them." Velkoth's mandibles clicked in confusion. "Impossible. The Krall took 57 prisoners. Their fortress station is impenetrable. Multiple Council species have tried and failed to breach their defenses over the centuries." Chen pulled up a holographic display. The Council chamber fell silent as footage played, grainy at first, then crystal clear. It showed human soldiers moving through the Krall station like shadows, their weapons firing with deadly precision. They didn't use the standard plasma rifles favored by most species. Instead, they carried kinetic weapons that seemed almost archaic, yet devastatingly effective. But it wasn't the weapons that shocked the Council. It was the tactics. Humans fought like nothing they had ever seen. They used the station's own infrastructure against their captors, turning life support systems into weapons, manipulating gravity wells, creating diversions that bordered on psychological warfare. They moved with a coordination that suggested either hive mind communication or training, so intensive it might as well have been. One particular segment made Velkoth's 3 hearts skip in unison. A human soldier, wounded and surrounded by 7 Krall warriors, had somehow turned the situation around. Using only the environment and what appeared to be pure determination, the soldier had incapacitated all 7 enemies in under 30 seconds. How? The question came from Council Prime Zathen, a species renowned for their strategic military thinking. "Your species has barely achieved faster than light travel. Your technology is centuries behind ours. How did you accomplish what entire Council fleets could not?" Chen's expression didn't change. "You asked about our technology. That's your first mistake. You never asked about our history." She expanded the hologram to show Earth rotating slowly in space. Continents and oceans drifted past, looking deceptively peaceful. "We come from a death world," Chen continued, her voice level but carrying an edge that made even the most battle-hardened Council members shift uncomfortably. 90% of Earth's surface is hostile to human life in some way. Our atmosphere is corrosive to most species you've cataloged. Our gravity is 1.5 times Council standard. Our predators evolved alongside us, forcing us to become better predators ourselves. Velkoth pulled up humanity's initial classification report. Class 7 species, it read, moderate threat level. He felt a chill run through his exoskeleton as he realized how catastrophically wrong that assessment had been. "But that's not what makes us dangerous," Chen said, and now there was something almost apologetic in her tone. "What makes us dangerous is that we had to learn to survive each other." The hologram shifted, displaying images that made several Council members recoil. Human history unfolded before them. Wars that spanned continents, conflicts that consumed entire generations, weapons capable of destroying their own planet multiple times over, The humans had nearly exterminated themselves dozens of times, yet somehow they had survived, adapted, and eventually united. We've fought wars in deserts, jungles, oceans, mountains, and in the frozen wastelands of our poles, Chen explained. We've fought hand-to-hand with swords, with guns, with bombs, with chemical weapons, and with nuclear fire. We've besieged cities for years, we've launched invasions across vast oceans, and we've learned to turn anything, literally anything, into a weapon. She paused, letting that sink in. Every human child studies military history. Every human knows what tactics worked and which ones failed across 10,000 years of constant warfare. We don't fight because we enjoy it. We fight because we've had to, and because we've gotten very, very good at it. Council Prime Zathan leaned forward, his crystalline eyes reflecting the holographic display. Are you threatening us, Captain Chen? No, Prime Zathan. Chen's response was immediate and firm. I'm explaining. The Council welcomed us, gave us a chance to be part of something greater than ourselves. We're grateful for that. But understand this. When the Crawl attacked our people, they didn't just attack a mining colony. They attacked our family, and humans protect their family. She closed the hologram with a gesture. We've returned your prisoners too. All 73 species that the Crawl were holding. They're in your medical facilities now, receiving care. Consider it a gesture of goodwill. The chamber erupted in shocked murmurs. 73 species. Prisoners that some had been held for decades. The Crawl fortress had been thought impregnable, and humanity had not only breached it but liberated everyone inside. Velkoth studied the human captain with new understanding. They weren't conquerors. They weren't even particularly aggressive by their own standards. But they were survivors who had clawed their way to the top of their planet's food chain through sheer tenacity and adaptability. What do you want from us? Velkoth asked finally. Chen smiled, and it was a warm expression, genuine and disarming. The same thing we wanted when we first arrived. Peace, trade, and friendship, but now you know what we're capable of if those things are threatened. We hope that knowledge prevents future misunderstandings. She turned to leave, then paused at the chamber's entrance. Oh, and Ambassador Velkoth? You might want to update our classification. Class 7 seems a bit low. After she left, the council sat in silence for a long moment. Finally, Zathan spoke what they were all thinking. We need to make sure humanity never has a reason to see us as enemies. The motion passed unanimously. Humanity's classification was updated to Class 12, Apex Predator Species. It was a designation that had never been used before, created specifically for a species that had turned survival into an art form. The Galactic Council had learned a valuable lesson. In a universe full of wonders and dangers, the most dangerous thing of all was underestimating a species that had spent its entire existence fighting to survive.